every family, there always seems to be that one person who stirs up our emotions. Arguments flare, misunderstandings pile up, and heavy silences linger. It can leave us feeling drained. But what if the key isn't about fixing them, but instead changing the way we respond? According to Buddhist wisdom, peace doesn't come from controlling others. It blooms when we learn to take care of our own mind in the very moment we're in. True calm begins with how we meet each experience. The path to freedom isn't about making the world perfect. It's about training our hearts to embrace each situation with awareness and wisdom. And what better place to practice than within our own home? That's where love often collides with hurt, where expectations clash with disappointments. Every conflict, if seen clearly, can become a doorway to growth. When we turn inward, we stop being prisoners of old wounds and instead become students of mindfulness. Today, let's explore some profound Buddhist principles that can help us approach difficult family relationships with compassion, clarity, and genuine peace. Home is where love and struggle often meet, and that makes it the truest classroom of all. Think about it. Do you recognize those familiar cycles? The same argument replaying again and again, expectations never fulfilled, or a silence that feels heavier than words. In today's fast-paced world, where endless standards press down on us, family tensions can weigh even more heavily. But you are not alone. This isn't just your struggle. It's part of being human. And while your family might not change overnight, you can change the way you walk into each moment so you're no longer tossed around by emotional storms. I often compare relationships to a fire. When tended wisely, fire warms and lights the way. But when neglected, it can burn everything around it. Family works the same way it needs: care, patience, and awareness. The pain you feel is real, but so is the possibility of transformation. When we remember that each person carries their own hidden battles, it becomes easier to see conflict through the lens of compassion. At the root of much family pain lies one thing: expectation. We want parents to understand us siblings, to back us up, children to follow the path we've drawn. Yet life rarely goes according to our script. The Buddha taught anicca, impermanence. Everything changes. Thoughts change, emotions shift, and so do the ways our loved ones react. Clinging to the belief that they must be a certain way only ties us to disappointment. Try a little reflection, exercise. Pause, take a breath, and notice the strongest expectation you hold for someone in your family. Maybe it's, "Dad needs to listen more," or "My child should live the life I imagined," or "My partner has to be more attentive." Now imagine loosening your grip on that expectation. You're not letting go of your loved one. You're simply releasing yourself from the stranglehold of must. And in that loosening, you may discover something surprising: relief, lightness, even space for understanding. From that space, new choices open up. Here are 3 small but powerful steps. 1. Pause. When emotions surge, resist the urge to fire back. Place your hand on your belly. Take 3 slow breaths. Just 3 breaths can unplug the heat of anger. 2. Look deeper. Ask yourself, what am I really protecting? What fear is speaking for me? Often beneath you, never listen, is the quiet fear of being abandoned. 3. Speak with compassion. Replace "you always" with, "When this happens, I feel hurt, and I wish." Words can transform energy. Don't wait for the other person to change before you allow yourself to feel peace. Let the calm within you set the tone. Some days will feel like progress. Others will feel like you're right back at the start. And that's okay, because every time you choose mindfulness over impulse, you're laying down another stone in the bridge of understanding between you and your loved ones. Remember, home isn't just a place to live. It's the closest training ground for the heart. When we learn to love in the right way, to love without binding to expect, without forcing to remind, without condemning, the family fire becomes a source of warmth instead of destruction. And from that home fire, peace can spread outward to the world. Fewer hurtful words, more acts of care. So tonight, write down one expectation you're ready to loosen, and one gentler sentence you'll try the next time conflict arises. Then breathe in, knowing you are breathing in. Breathe out and smile softly. You don't need anyone's permission to be at peace. Peace is a skill, and you can practice it breath by breath, conversation by conversation, right in the heart of your family. Just a little shift, and notice how the tension starts to melt away. When we realize expectations are fragile and always changing, we release the suffering tied to them. So often, it's not the person themselves who hurts us most, but the story we attach to who we think they should be. We tell ourselves, they should support me in this, or they should never talk to me like that. But life doesn't bend to the stories we write in our heads. When we let go of rigid expectations, we can meet people where they truly are, not where we demand them to be. And in that meeting, a surprising calm can rise. The Buddha also taught metta, loving kindness. It's the practice of sending compassion to all beings, even to those who frustrate or wound us. That doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior or ignoring boundaries. It means approaching others with a heart free of hatred. Non-attachment isn't apathy. It's caring deeply without clinging, without demanding. Try this simple practice. Bring to mind a family member who challenges you the most, and silently repeat, "May you be well. May you be free from suffering." Even if you can't say it with full sincerity, at first, the act itself begins to soften the heart. Over time, compassion dissolves anger, and what once felt like a battle can transform into a space of inner freedom. Compassion is not weakness, it's strength. It helps us see beyond sharp words to the pain hidden beneath them. Non-attachment ensures we don't drown in that pain ourselves. Together, they create balance, loving deeply, but not being trapped by fear or resentment. This is love purified, steady, strong, and free. On the Buddha's noble eightfold path, there's right speech. It means choosing words that are true, gentle, and timely. In family life, where emotions often run high, right speech can turn conflict into connection. Before you speak, pause and ask yourself, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Equally important is the practice of deep listening. Too often, while a loved one is speaking, we're already rehearsing our response or sharpening our defense. But listening without judgment creates space for real understanding. You might try using I statements instead of you always. For example, I feel hurt when this happens, instead of you always do this. That small shift can cool down arguments, turning blame into dialogue. Words are like seeds. Once planted, they grow. Harsh words grow into resentment, while gentle words build trust. And sometimes, silence used wisely can be more powerful than speech. When we listen with openness, our family members feel seen rather than attacked. Often that simple act of being heard can dissolve half the conflict. But in family life, old wounds and future worries often cloud the present. We drag along past hurts or brace ourselves for the next fight. Buddhism calls us back to mindfulness, to meet this moment fully. Can you meet your family member as they are right now, not as they were in the past, not as you fear they'll be tomorrow? Every encounter is an opportunity, a chance to practice patience, compassion, and wisdom. So next time you're in a tough interaction, pick one principle: impermanence, compassion, right speech, or mindfulness, and gently bring it into the moment. Watch how even a small shift changes the atmosphere, both within yourself and within your family. Mindfulness doesn't mean erasing the past. It means refusing to let the past control this moment. When you live fully in the present, you free yourself from the weight of old stories. Family stops being just a source of conflict and becomes a mirror showing you where you can grow. Every moment of tension is a chance to practice patience. Every smile is a chance to feel gratitude. Even the most difficult relationship can become part of your spiritual path. Family challenges may not disappear, but they don't have to rob you of peace. Through Buddhist wisdom, we learn to loosen rigid expectations, practice compassion without clinging, speak with care, listen with openness, and stay grounded in the present. This is the path of transformation, not of others, but of ourselves. If this reflection resonates with you, I invite you to walk this path with me. Hit subscribe, and let's keep exploring the wisdom of the Buddha together. When we live this way, family is no longer a battlefield. It becomes a teacher, part of the practice itself. And every small step toward peace in our families becomes a step toward peace in our own hearts.